Hi, this is Jenny from myenergyship.com, and today I'm going to make a chickpea sweet potato rice Buddha bowl. I got the recipe online from a friend and I'm tweaking it just a little bit to make it my own, and so let's get started on this wonderful Buddha bowl. Alright, the first thing I'm doing is cooking a little bit of brown rice and getting that started because it takes a little bit of time. So roasted chickpeas or garbanzo beans end up going in this bowl, which is really great, and here are the spices we need: cumin, chili powder, garlic powder, oregano, and turmeric, and I'm going to be making those next because you need to set them aside and let them cool a little bit. Alright, I've got my chickpeas rinsed. I'm going to put them in the bowl, and I'm going to add my spices. Let's see what we're going to have. We have a teaspoon of cumin. I love cumin. If you don't like cumin, feel free to leave that out. It could be a spice that could be done away with. Don't not eat the dish just because you don't like cumin. 3/4 teaspoon chili powder. And a little heat. 1, 2, 3. We want 3/4 of a teaspoon garlic powder. 1/4 teaspoon salt and pepper. Oh, the pepper at the end. 2, 3. 1/4 teaspoon, half a teaspoon of oregano. This is optional too, but I love oregano, so I'm going to add it. And then we need 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric, which is a wonderful spice. Always good. Always good for your health. And I'm going to put in some black pepper. I'm going to toss that up and get it all coated. And I'm going to put it in a pan to brown. Now it calls for oil, and I'm not willing to do that. I'm not going to put oil in here. I'm going to spray it with some no stick and see how it goes from there. Okay, I heated up the pan a little bit with some spray. I'm just going to dump these in there. Going to sizzle. Let's make sure we get all that spices out of there. Don't want it too high. And I'm just going to kind of toss them around a little bit until they get brown, and then I'll set them aside. The chickpeas have been cooking 5 to 10 minutes. I'm going to let them brown a little bit more. And in the meantime, I went ahead and cut up one large sweet potato into small chunks, which I'm going to begin roasting. I turned my oven on to 400 degrees. I'm getting ready to put that in. I put my sweet potato on the pan. Again, it called for oil, which I'm not going to do. So I'm just going to spray it with a little no stick spray. And I sprayed the pan as well, and that'll be good enough. I don't need the oil. Alright, so my chickpeas are cooking, my rice is cooking, my sweet potatoes are cooking. I'm getting ready to chop up what makes this so healthy, these greens. You gotta have green every day. Now I'll call for broccolini, I think it was. I've never had that. Broccoli is my favorite vegetable, so I'm just gonna use that. And then kale. Don't let the thought of kale turn you off to this. It's gonna be chopped up real fine. It's going to be cooked a little bit, so it's not going to be bitter. So don't let kale turn you off. And if you absolutely don't want kale, try spinach instead. Okay, I took my sweet potatoes out. They cooked for about 15 minutes, and I'm just stirring them around. They're getting a little brown and getting soft. Next, I'm going to add my broccoli. And again, I'm just going to spray it with some no stick spray, because I'm not going to spray it with oil. I don't have to. Kind of redoing my sweet potatoes too. Try to keep them separated. Okay, I'm going to sprinkle the broccoli with a little salt. Now, to be honest, I don't often roast broccoli. So I'm curious to see how this turns out. Put that another little spray. Put it back in for about 10 minutes. Alright, I've never made this recipe before, and I think I've already messed up. I forgot I needed to add my onion with my sweet potato. But I cut them in small chunks, so I think the onion will roast pretty quickly. And the red onion is so yummy and healthy for you. When you add color to your meal, it's going to add health to your meal. So I'm going to put that back in there with my red onion. While everything is roasting, I'm going to make my sauce. And I have my ingredients: maple syrup. Now make sure you get real maple syrup. I know it's expensive, but you don't want the brown corn syrup. stuff. Real deal. Tahini, which is sesame seed paste. Ideally, if you have a lemon, you'll peel one of, or juice one of those. I didn't have one, so I'm just going to use lemon juice. Alright, so it's raining, yay! I'm going to take a 1/4 cup of the tahini. A tablespoon of the maple syrup. It's going to add that really nice sweet flavor to it. And yes, I know maple syrup is expensive, but it is so worth it. And yeah, I don't use a ton of it. So it takes a while for me to use up this much maple syrup, personally. It says half a lemon, and I think that's going to be about 2 tablespoons. So I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of juice. And then a couple tablespoons of hot water, which I have here. So I'm going to mix that up and get a nice creamy sauce for my Buddha bowl. Alright, I pulled out the broccoli and sweet potato. Everything's looking really good. Next is kale. I sprayed a little bit of stuff on it. This is cooking up just fine with no oil. So I'm just going to let that lay in there. It won't have to cook very long, and almost ready to put it together. Alright, I got everything together. I put my rice in the bowl. I'm going to add my sweet potatoes and onions. I'm going to add my kale. My broccoli, a little more sweet potatoes, my chickpeas, and the tahini sauce. This should be very good. Looks colorful, so I know it's healthy. Alright, time for the taste test. Like I said, I've never made this before, but I loved all the ingredients, so I know I'll like it. It is quite tasty. Highly recommended. Again, this is Jenny from myenergyshift.com. I hope you try the Buddha bowl. If you do, let me know how you like it, and namaste.